I'm excited about this month's update because you might notice immediately, bottom left corner here, that's right, I've actually added abilities to weapons. We are no longer just a left click and a right click setup. Full rework. I've reworked the back end, I've reworked and cleaned up some bunch of stuff, I've improved the performance, and I have added abilities. Well, at least to the main two weapons. Let me show you what they are, because it does in fact change the gameplay quite a lot. Let's go in and check out the first weapon, which is the base melee weapon. As you can see, here are the buttons, and if you swap to a controller, as you can see in the bottom left, it just swap to the controller options. Mouse, mouse, controller, controller. So you have all of the buttons automatically shown there, and if you were to rebind them, it would also show the rebounded buttons, of course, automatically. But basically we have, of course, left click and right click, and as you can see, we now have them automatically showing you actually the cooldown live in a much nicer version than it was before. But we also have the different abilities. So the first one is just a big attack in the front. Second one is an AoE around you. The third one is a line, just like that. And the fourth one is a lot of little explosions, and yes, each one of those re-triggers the damage. So it has a very low range, but each one that goes out can hit an enemy multiple times, doing a lot of damage. Now, I haven't added the descriptors or anything to these yet, but that's coming. So let's go find us some mobs real quick, and I want to point out a few things. First of all, the fact that is the icons, of course, go dark, so you can immediately tell when something's on cooldown. But there you go. If I use this one, for example, I had multiple enemies. This attack is a lot harder to hit, but it does quite a good amount of damage. I will, of course, add in the hitboxes and things of that nature down the line. So it is a lot different of a game now than it was before. I mean, it is still the same game, but buttons are different. I've rebound a bunch of stuff, so it's something to keep in mind. For example, I've also changed the rebindings quite a bit, so the button to interact is now the right thumbstick on controller, but of course, everything like that should be entirely changeable if you so wish. In the last devlog, I did not have access to the actual meta progression stuff. That's been fixed. The only thing is, right here, you'll see I have one picked up. That one is a bug. That's a bug that I need to fix up still, but it should carry over properly once we go through. You might, in fact, just get an extra one, basically. So it's a bug that it kind of helps you out, so I didn't beeline to fix it, but that is one of my first to-dos to fix. Don't worry. You can see the abilities here make a big difference. Now, that does also mean that these abilities not only do more damage than your basic attacks, but obviously have a bigger range. So I've gone ahead and I've adjusted the boss's health. So all bosses are now considerably, well, more boss-like, because you can see these mobs are no longer really a big threat. But with that, let's go try out the other weapon, which is this one. Again, you can see the button that you need to click to interact now has changed. The right thumbstick button, and we can change the weapons, and all of these have the appropriate interact button to show you what you need to press to pick anything up. As you can see, if I press one, there it is in the bottom left corner adjusted, and all of these should work as well. The nice new UI that I think is a lot cleaner. Same thing with the icons in the top left corner. If you look at there in the top left, the icon there is a lot nicer and cleaner. But this is the, well, projectile version. The spell version works a little bit differently. So that's the first one with an AoE. We have a smaller AoE. We have a more special one. And we have this one. Now, that is, of course, on top of the regular attacks, and this one got a little damage upgrade as well. Now, these attacks work a little bit differently on a mouse and keyboard compared to a controller. On a mouse and keyboard, it will use your mouse's position. So what I mean is, if you look at my mouse right over here, if I point here and I press 1, it will put it here. If I point here and press 2, it'll put it there. Now, it will not go past a certain distance. So if I put my mouse all the way at the top here and press 4, I can't go that far. So it will try to put it the furthest distance based on the attack. So I was over there on the stairs and it put it at this location here, because that is the furthest distance it could. So it tries its best and then just places it down where it can. If you put it over the void, it will put it effectively in the default offset from you, so not very far forward. Now, on a controller, that is different, because obviously you don't have access to a mouse, and I did not want to make it so you had to move the controller like a mouse. I personally really do not like that, so instead, the abilities automatically will aim assist basically onto onto enemies. So for example, the first one and the third one here are more AoE attacks. So they will take a look at the enemies in front of you and then find the average position between all of them and place it there. And the other one, like 2 and 4 here, are more single target, more narrow abilities. So they'll just automatically target the closest enemy to you. So you can really use this to advantage. Now let me show you what I mean by using the controller here and going along and finding some enemies. So here we go. We've got some enemies here. If I use the AoE one, you can see it triggered on all of them. But if I wait to bunch a bunch of these up and I use the second ability, it'll put it at the closest one instead of being able to hit multiple. Same thing here. It will try to find a group of them, but they were too far apart. So it can only pick basically the first one because that's the only one. Again, here it grabs the closest. I think I forgot to adjust the damage. The damage on this weapon might be broken, I'm realizing now. This, by the way, also works across cliffs. So you don't need to worry about elevation with this one because it is entirely a spell-based system. So it's a little bit more powerful, so I'm going to help balancing it, of course, because range is extremely powerful in general. I'll adjust the actual damage of this weapon before I push it out onto you guys for Patreon. So then you'll be able to have the more appropriate actual example of this where damage is a little more accurate. But you can see it all kind of works all together. So at no point do you feel like the actual abilities are fighting against you because you can plan to attack and place them wherever you'd like. Bunch up enemies and use a group ability or use one of the single target ones, or rather more guaranteed to hit single target. But you can see it grabbed all of them in that area because it got the average there pretty much. And that's kind of the spell ability here. I think it really changes up the gameplay quite a lot. But that's kind of the big main thing that I was focused on this month. Honestly, a lot of it was reworking the back end stuff. Like I've reduced the memory requirement that is needed for the game and things of that nature. So there have been some improvements in terms of optimizations and workflow stuff on the back end really. But still, I think the addition to the abilities to the weapons adds a ton. Now, I have not added it to the Airblade weapon, so if you do pick that up as a power-up, just know that the power-ups are not added to it yet. So you'd be stuck with only the basic 2 attacks. So in terms of the strength of it, it's currently very low in comparison to the 2 basic weapons, until I get the effects in and all that stuff. But that's been the main thing that I've been working on this past month. And next month, I think I'm going to focus on improving the actual level design so we don't see that same single level there so many times. As always, if you want to play around with this for yourself, the early version here is available on my Patreon, or you can join these wonderful people here in supporting what I do. It really means a lot. And if you'd like to join the community, the link will be in the description as always. And if you want to learn Unreal to also make your own games with, check out this video right over here that I think you're really gonna like.